Good evening, everybody. It's your girl, Miss E. I come in live with Journey with Trish, the podcast. Super duper excited to have my girl Hope in the building with me again tonight. Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you. 40 Club.
40 Club. Listen, it's my last year in the 40 Club, so enjoy every bit of these 40s.
I will.
Before we get started, let me go ahead and give you my medical disclaimer. Neither myself, Patricia Reed, aka Ms. Ejada Jimenez, or any affiliates of Journey with Trish the podcast are here to give you any type of medical or psychiatric or spiritual advice tonight. If you are having any type of those emergencies, I will defer you to your nearest emergency room, your primary care provider, or pastor. Okay? We're going to be talking about church hurt tonight. We didn't come here to step on anybody's toes. We didn't come here to hurt anybody's feelings. And we didn't come to run anybody out the church. But what we are going to do is share with you our personal experiences with church hurt in hopes that we can reach somebody and be a blessing to somebody tonight. Please take this opportunity to like, comment, follow. Please share. The more shares we get, the more people we reach. You have no idea how much of a difference that it makes. So we appreciate every person that shares this broadcast tonight. You ready to get into it? You looking all cute. See if I can get my legs crossed in here so I can sit like a lady tonight.
I can't. That's working.
All right. So church hurt. I've been following your profile for about a year. How long has it been since you came on the podcast the last time?
Let's say 6 months to a year.
About 6 months to a year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I always tell you a lot of your story is my story. And I appreciate being able to share that with you because it feels good to know that there are other people out here that have gone through similar things. So I do try to be encouraging to you when I can.
You are.
So let's get into it. I'm gonna let you go ahead and start with your first experience. And then after your first experience, share with me the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the most impactful experience you've had with church hurt. You grew up in a church?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
We was there on Sunday, Wednesday, any type of function was going on, Mama had us there.
Same.
Yes.
Same all the time.
Now, I'm not going to say that I was happy about it. Sometimes it made me mad because I didn't want to go. But,
because we went to church way too much.
Yes,
back then.
It was a lot.
And we stayed in church till like 3:00 on Sundays. It was just very disrespectful of people's time and other things. And I ain't finna sit here and lie and say the spirit was moving the whole time. You was just the spirit can move, and then we can go home and enjoy we only get 2 days off. Most people only get 2 days off. And I just know that church was where I don't know that anybody stays. Does anybody still stay in church long?
I don't know. It's changed since COVID. So I'll just say that thank God for that. But if they do and they're enjoying it, good.
Yeah, it's good for y'all. But I'm my finger going up around about 12:30 because I'm trying to make it to brunch. I'll give you the 12:45. Anything beyond that is just uncivilized. It's just uncivilized.
I feel you.
Yeah, I always tell everybody I actually left the Black church for several years because of church hurt. And that's where I developed a love for a 60-minute service.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I came back to the Black church, I was surprised to see that a lot of them were doing the same. They're just not staying in church all day on Sundays anymore.
Yeah.
No more church every night. I don't even know when's the last time I heard of it. We used to have revivals where it'd be like every night.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a tent revival in the summertime. The worst time of the year to have them is the hottest time of the year. But anyway, tell me your experiences with church hurt.
Okay, so my first experience was, I think I talked about this when I came on for my book. I was raped at the age of 9. And I went to church right after that, and instead of them asking what was wrong with me, because I started to show signs of anger and stuff like that, I didn't want to be there. Instead of them coming and consoling, asking me things like, hey, what's wrong, or something like that, they just started to label me like a trouble child or something like that. And it kind of turned me away from God because as a child, I didn't even know how to deal with some of the things I was dealing with. So what I was taught was go to church. God loves you. God this,
Pray,
God
pray,
that.
just pray, just
Yeah,
pray, just pray.
as a child, what is prayer? I didn't really know what I was supposed to be asking for, what I was supposed to be saying, and then if I did try to pray, it wasn't coming to me then as a child from what I understood. And when I went to church and tried to ask questions, it was always don't ask no questions.
Mhm.
God is what it is, and that's what it is. Just shut up, shut your mouth, or whatever. Don't do nothing in churches. Just pay attention. And I did not understand God for so many years of my life, and it made me angry.
And for a lot of people, especially children, when it comes to telling me or them or whoever to just pray, just pray, just pray. Okay, well, if you telling me all I gotta do is pray,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm expecting that when I pray, I'm gonna get the exact answer
Yes.
that I want.
Yes.
And when God doesn't give me that, it
Ooh.
sets up the most like heavy
Yeah. Yeah.
disappointment. So I would like for leaders in the church, pastors and deacons and deaconesses and ministers, whoever, I would like to for you to be a little bit more honest and transparent in your teaching and telling, especially children, just because you pray for it does absolutely not
Mm-hmm.
mean that he
Mm-hmm.
is going to give you
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you're praying for,
Right.
because it can turn you against God.
Oh my God, yes.
Hmm.
Because what they say is it gets worse before it gets better most times. So as a child, if you're praying for the better and all you're seeing is the worst, or let's say if you're praying for your parents to make it work and all you see is them getting divorced,
Hmm.
or you praying to not get raped no more and somebody keeps coming to molest you or do stuff like this, and it's like, where is God in these moments? So in those times, I was like, God can't love me. There's no way God can love me.
At some point you start questioning, is he
Yes.
even real?
Real.
And then other
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
start coming to you that don't believe he's real, and they might come to you and say something about different scriptures in the Bible, and you'd be like,
It's a contradiction. And I just before I get to keep on talking, let me just say I love God. I do believe in Jesus Christ. I don't care about the history and all that stuff. When I say his name, it's enough for me. When I think about the life that I live, how I'm persecuted, ridiculed for being me, for talking about what I believe in, for helping people, anything that I do is like the life that I read about or am taught about Jesus. It's almost the same thing. I'm just not getting stoned literally or whatever, or hung on a cross or with a crown of thorns, but it feels like it every day when someone is constantly judging you for being you and then telling me at the same time, but God loves you for who you are, but you don't. How does that even make sense? Are you a child of God and did God send you or did you come on your own? And sometimes it comes off so bad because we have so many church people that feel like they're in a place of correction, or I got to tell you how you're supposed to be living your life when God is the ultimate corrector for me. So if he can speak to you, he can speak to me too.
mm-hmm.
If you're anointed, what makes you think that I'm not anointed? We all fall under the same category of being a child of God. So I just want people to respect that.
And I say it all the time. I don't ever get on here and proclaim to be in the place that I need to be spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't proclaim to live a godly life all the time. I just don't. I don't. What I do know is that I do love the Lord, and I absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that He loves me. I know that I would have never made it through all the things that I have been through my entire life if he was not real, if he had not brought me through that. So my motto is I thank God that he chose me to move in his purpose in the state I'm in
Mm-hmm.
right now. So I might not be good enough to do what you doing out there, or what pastor's doing, or what first lady is doing. I might not be good enough yet to do that. But I know that he had a work for me that he feels like I'm good enough for to serve the purpose right now.
I'm talking about right now. And I want to say, I know this your podcast, but I want to stop right there and say you are good enough. People's opinions, they may say that, but you are good enough to do it right now. That's what God says, to step in your calling right now, because if somebody aligned to you in this moment, what you're going through, when you start speaking to them, it's going to touch something that they're going through or been through or something. You don't have to be in the place where you think you need to be. You just need to be in the place. God put you there, you need to be there because somebody gonna walk there and it's gonna be something that you say that's gonna be triggering them on the inside.
Every
It's a
single time.
seed that you sow. That's all God asks. Just sow the seed and then let me do the work. Most people try to sow the seed, do the work, play God,
I
come
used
back,
to.
do this, and you can't. It
I
is
used to.
why?
I used
Why
to.
do we try to do that? Why do we play God?
My pastor says all the time, do your job. Do
Yes.
get up there and do what you were supposed to do. You know, wherever you go, like work and do what he told you to do. And then that's it. Like don't leave. And you know, I'm very extra and over the top. So I am learning, you know, just to do. And sometimes that just do is just to get up in the morning and talk to God, because I've learned very quickly that if I'm gonna say that I am, if I'm posting for him, if I'm posting what he's telling me to post, how in the world do I get up and just post when I hadn't even talked to him? Yeah, right. And so I try to make it a point to talk to him. If I have time, I'm gonna listen to a little gospel music, because sometimes I wake up in the morning and I literally don't have anything to post, and that's usually the days when I post something and it's so stupid and it goes nowhere, and then I'm like, why did it? Sometimes I even go back and take it. I'm like, why? Sometimes I have to be comfortable with, okay, you don't have to post today,
You don't.
you know, because sometimes we get so caught up and feeling like we gotta do. But if God tells you to sit down and don't do nothing today, don't do nothing today.
Right. That's been my biggest problem is resting in God. He's like,
Being
girl,
still.
rest. Just be still and trust me. And I'm like, but no, I got to do this because I'm so used to being the superhero or the superwoman in every story, a chapter in everybody's book. Somebody need me to do something. So
be careful with that. That everybody needing you to do something and doing all the time will drain you.
Oh, I know. That's why God
Wear you
says
out.
rest. And I couldn't do that for so long. I was like, what is that? Well, how do I rest in you? And because I didn't know, he started to just remove everything. He met my job. I lost my job. Everything that I was holding on to that he was telling me to let go.
He will.
took it.
When I tell you, he'll make you uncomfortable. He will make
took
you. I told somebody this morning, and I'm sure you know you read my post. So I have lost or am losing. Like I've lost a lot. Some things. My daughter and I were talking the other day. Never ever hope when I started this journey. When I started journey with Trish, did I think that this journey, even though it says, and I have a friend that says, you know, this is journey with Trish, not journey with everybody else. But even though I said that and I hear that, I know that never would I have thought that this journey would have led me where it is right now. But we just don't know what plans are here for us. Like, you know what they say, like, if you want to make God laugh,
tell him your plans.
Tell him your plans. I mean, so much. So when I tell you, God will line things up for you. When I talked to my job the other day about moving, and when you're a nurse, you have to have, even though we have what they're called compact licenses, licenses meaning you can work in different states, but you still, as a nurse practitioner, you have to have a license in each state. So when I called my job the other day just to inquire and let them know about this move that I was making, we have what us they're called credentialers. How about I'm already licensed in that state?
Girl, that's how God look. That's how I look.
And we're not even talking about, because I can be very mean sometimes and very controlling. And so one day I remember calling the credentialer and I was like, listen, don't apply for nothing else in my name without calling me to tell me that you applying for something in my name.
And that was God already handling it for you.
He was already, seriously.
Jeremiah 29:11.
But hold up, no. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord.
The plans to prosper you, not harm you, but give you hope for a future.
A future.
I live by that. I don't care. I don't care what's going wrong, what's going right. I know that it's going to work out for me.
And you have to believe it. You have to really, really believe it for yourself. You can't let other people get into your head about it, because there are some things that other people are not going to understand.
Right.
There are going to be some things that other people are going to say things like, God wouldn't tell you to do that.
That's my life right now. Everybody telling me what God telling me to do. I'm like, how do you know? Do you know how much I wrestle with God about the things he's telling me to do? He said, I'm setting you apart because you were chosen to do these things. It's some people so scared to do what I tell them to do. But you so bold, you've been living for the enemy for how long? I know when you come to my side, you're gonna give me 2,000% once you know who I am. And that's been my season of getting to know God. And when I tell you, it had nothing to do with the church building. God literally called me out of the church building because I was idolizing the church. I was idolizing people and their opinion. If I wasn't living up to what they were doing, it confused me on what way I was supposed to be going with God. And God said, I need you to hear my voice because you're hearing too many people. So you just stagnant. You're not doing nothing. So I felt like a failure because if God tell me this and then this person like no, and then this person like no, let's say somebody told me I didn't have the look to do what God called me to do. And that confused me because I was like, well, what is the look of God? Because when we go back to the Bible, because I throw the Bible scriptures at Christians real quick.
I mean, you know what they say though? They say Satan know the Bible. That's what they're gonna tell you. Satan know the Bible from front to back. He gonna learn it so he can use it against you. That's what their defense is to that.
Oh yeah, that's my idea.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. But yes, they'll throw those scriptures at you so fast, but then don't even believe the scriptures that they're saying.
And you gotta say them verbatim.
Oh my God!
Don't mess around and not say it verbatim. Like even my pastor would say when he said scripture, like, no, it might not be word for word, for all you Bible scholars out there. But yeah, like they'll get on you if you paraphrase.
Because how can you say I can do all things through Christ which strengthen me, but then say I can't? That is a contradiction. You can't tell me I can't when you say I can do all things. And you can't tell me that God is all things, but then tell me that he's not everywhere.
And you can't tell me to pray, but then when I start praying, tell me God wouldn't do, like God ain't gonna do nothing with my prayers. Because why are you telling me to pray? I'm listening. You told me I came to you in my deepest, darkest moments, and I told you I was going through something. But because you know my history, or because you know what I may be doing right now, maybe I'm not walking, exactly how I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm not being obedient. But because of all that, even though all you have to tell me to do is just pray, and then when I just pray, you have the audacity to tell me my prayers don't go no further.
God ain't gonna answer that prayer. God ain't listening to that prayer. God ain't this. God. Well, which is it?
Yeah, y'all really have us confused.
Oh, too confused
sometimes. And then they call us like baby saints. Yeah, church, the seasoned saints will run the baby saints out of there quicker than they run you out the club after last call.
Yes,
seriously.
Ooh,
so
something I wanted to touch on if we can was yoga.
Okay, go ahead.
In the church.
We can touch on anything.
I can tell y'all that I went through a season of bitterness. And I kept praying to God, like, God, give me something. I need something. I got to get closer to you. I was longing and seeking. Like, God, I need your help.
Because once you, and it's the one thing, I'm sorry for interrupting, but it's the one thing that I say all the time. If I've never wanted anybody to experience anything that I've experienced before, is to experience the power of God. There is nothing. I don't care what you live in, what you've been through, what you're going through, there is nothing like, there ain't no sex, ain't no nothing, ain't no drink, nothing compared to what you feel like when the power of God comes over you.
And I can say that coming from someone that has had promiscuous ways, and I use those things to numb a lot of things that I was going through. And when I started praying to God, like, God, take away those desires. I don't want to devalue myself as much as I was. When I started to see myself through God's eyes, I stopped having a lot of those desires that I was doing. And I'm just going to be honest, for as bisexual.
Did you ever get mad when he took them away?
Yes, because it's like, I can be honest. And this real talk, because I'm real. I'm telling y'all, like, I used to ask this first lady, I asked about masturbating. And I used to always say, is masturbating a sin? Because I think God would rather have me masturbating than to go out here spreading myself thin to these men. And she was like, no, that's a sin. You can't play with yourself. And then I was like, but how? So I kept doing
like, at least tell me how. Like, tell me why. I want to know why.
Yeah. And then she's like, but you got to die to yourself. And I'm like, but I am dying to myself. Dying to myself is not going out there with these men. You know what I mean? So I'm in here doing this. And then one day I tried to do
What's the word you use? You got to do what?
Die to yourself.
Die daily.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. I tried to do it one night, and nothing.
Yeah, you masturbate every night, huh?
No, not for one season of my life. Yes, it was every night, and this is why I had to pray about it because I started idolizing masturbation.
Okay.
And that's me being honest. Is because I didn't want to be touched because of being a rape victim. Sometimes my body goes into trauma. I don't want to be touched. I don't want no man around me. So that's something that God is helping me heal on. But I just, when I felt it, I had to go and get it out, and it was just like, oh, and then I'd be dead sleep in 2.5 seconds.
Sleep like a baby.
It's the best. Okay, yeah, no, it's that, God is the best. God is the best. He's my aphrodisiac. For real, he is now. But back then,
I'm not finna lie and say that.
Okay, well, I was trying.
I'm not finna lie and say that. I think God has a purpose to do certain things, and one of them is not to make love to me. God does not make love to me. God does not give me any type of sexual satisfaction.
Well, is that what the aphrodisiac? That's what that means to you?
Aphrodisiac is something that puts me in the mood. It makes me.
It's an excitement. It's a feeling that has you feel.
Sexual satisfaction is what aphrodisiac is. God has never in his life brought me any sexual satisfaction.
So when we look at it like that, we talk about
I'm just gonna be honest.
I wasn't thinking about that either, but when I'm talking about it, saying that the Holy Spirit can keep you as a companion. He can make, you know what I mean? Like as a companion, a friend, a father, the three, the Trinity of what he plays in your life, or when you don't have a person in your life or a companion.
For a limited time, because the Bible also says that God did not mean for man to be alone.
True.
Yeah. So
but where does that go? Explain on that for when it comes to the Bible and marriage or premarital sex and stuff.
I don't believe that when he says that it and that's one of the I do go to, and I'm not please don't hold my pastor responsible for anything that I say up here, but I am a member of Restoration Fellowship. Okay. And the reason how I ended up there, one Sunday morning, I was on my way again to go to the white church I have been going to for many years. But something in my spirit was just not setting right with me this morning. I wanted to go back home. Mm-hmm. I grew up in the Black church. Like I grew up, like there is no spiritual revival, no awakening, no worship to me, like that good down home Black church praise music and dancing and shouting. And so I wanted that this Sunday morning. So I'm in the car with both of my daughters, ironically, this day. And we get to the stop sign. And it's either we turn right or go to the church, white church we have been going to, or we go left and find a different Black church. Mm-hmm. And the girls, even though I'm thinking of the girl says, Mom, I don't want to go to that church today. Let's go to a different church. So we had thought about going to Fairhope, but it was already so late because I'm always tardy. Mm-hmm. And so we turned left and we started driving. I said, okay, well, we'll go to Restoration Fellowship. And from that very first time I walked in the door, like this man literally was preaching everything that I had been going through in my life. Like I made a Facebook post one day, like, you know what, I'm done with God because he talked too much. Yeah, like he talked way too much. He can tell the pastor all my business. Mm-hmm. But all of my values that I believe in, he preaches about those. And so I do believe that if you seek God, I think he'll place you exactly where you need to be, because there has not been a Sunday when I have not been going through something and I go to church and exactly what I'm going through is what he's preaching on. Mm-hmm. And so I appreciate that. Now, how did I get off on that, Ray?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what we was talking about.
Well, I know you just was talking about how you love the Black church, but you ended up starting to go to a different.
But what were we talking about before?
I started saying something about yoga, and then you interrupted me, and then I don't know.
It's not called interrupting. That is called conversing.
The conversation went in a different direction, so I cannot fully remember how we took a turn for the left or the right.
Best. We took a turn for the.
I didn't say worse. I said left or right. So I just know that I was trying to say, like, that's why I found my relationship with God really got built when I started doing yoga. Mm-hmm. And the church, I had my first lady came to me one day. She was at my job and she's like, "Girl, you look so good. What you doing? You glowing." And I was like, I've been doing yoga. I was happy. And she was like, no, you need to research that. That ain't good. That
And they don't be done did no research.
And I asked her, I said, have you ever done it before? She said, no. I said, well, I've researched it. They taught it to us. I got a scholarship on it. I learned about it. And I was like, that's actually the closest I've ever felt to God in my classes. And I was the only black person in my classes. Let me just say that. We talked about Jesus Christ. We talked about God. And everything was healing. Every day I got closer to God. And every day that I went home, I started to seek God more. I started to want to pull out my Bible. I started to want to know more about Him, want to know more about Jesus Christ and how He walked the earth and what He did. It made me interested in knowing God more based off yoga.
Because there's no disconnection. Like, you know when you and God are disconnected.
Ooh, and it was so strong. I mean, we was crying every day in class too. That's why they gave me the scholarship, because I felt God moving so much in class. I started spilling all my stuff, and they were strangers, and they was in awe with me because I was so authentic. And I just be crying every day and telling them everything going through, because I was just like, I have nothing else to lose.
You don't understand. They get so angry. Even my family, my friends, they get so angry with me for telling the truth. Like I don't know what else to do.
Right.
Like the hardest 2 months of my life were the 2 months that I was walking around with this huge secret and felt like I was pretending. And most of the people in my life were saying, don't do it.
I feel like I knew.
Don't do it. It was so many people though that were saying, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I can't be a hypocrite. I cannot walk around and tell all of the good stuff that happens to me. But the minute that I end up in a bad place, I'm going to pretend and think, no. Yeah. I don't even want you to like me. I don't want you to love me. I don't want you to follow me. If all I can bring to you is the good days. Yep. It is so important to me for people to know that I'm human. Like, that's what my journey is all about. Yes. It's being human and sharing. Like I always say, like, I'm never going to drag you through the mud with me while I'm trying to figure. But when I figure it out, I got you. Because I know if I'm going through it, somebody else out there is going through it too. So it don't bother me. I don't be embarrassed. I finally got in my F everybody.
Baby, don't nobody care, because y'all gonna talk if I do it, talk if I don't. You gonna make up your own scenario about my life and try to write my whole book and tell me what it's about. So when anybody that know me as Jackie know that Jackie never gave a F about nobody's opinions. I've been called so many different things. I've heard rumors about myself. I be laughing like, oh, for real? Okay, some of them times I was hearing stuff about myself. I may was celibate for 6 months to a year. And I've slept with buku people. You know, it's just, that's what people do. They try to live your life for you and tell your story to make people hate you. And they try to make you, they'll really make you believe, people in the church, because like I said, like we talk about baby, and I'm gonna tell this story about when I actually did go back to church. And I don't know if the people who maybe have been involved in this are gonna be watching, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. But please don't take any offense to it. It's just a part of my story. And what I always say is, I can't tell my story and try to protect the people that hurt me, try to protect the people that hurt my feelings at the same time. There's no way to do that. Right. So when I did go back to the church, and what Pastor King said when we had, because we had like an orientation, and he was like, but just jump right in. If you feel like there's a work that you want to do or something, that you like to do in the church for the congregation, like, we want you to be a service, just jump right in. And he told me like what to do. So what do? I do events, right? I do events. I bring women together. That's what I do. And so I personally felt like, who am I to think God is talking to me? But I personally felt like God had given me the vision to do an event, a women's event, like a women's conference. I've done very well with it in the past. I've been able to bring women together, but I wanted to do it. And I honestly, I wanted to do it, I thought, in the church, and I wanted to do it without the turn part, like the party. Like, I came from such a sincere place when I brought that. And
And so because it was a women's conference, I was, asked a couple people like who I needed to talk to, and they told me to come up with a proposal. So I took the time to, me, I love Canva, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a proposal. I'm gonna do a proposal. So I went on there and made my pretty proposal on Canva, and I had prepared it to meet and talk with the pastor about it. And then I met with some ladies
Mm-hmm.
um, at the church.
Yeah.
And we're good now. Like we're cool now, but they almost made me leave the church. They really did, like, because I was so new coming back to the church, right? And I just got here. Like, are you serious? I just got here. And so when I sat down to have the conversation about this particular event, and so one of them made the comment like, one of them made a comment like, well, one thing about Pastor, like he gonna discern or something, like he gonna know whether you coming to do it because you sincere or if you just doing it to put on a show.
Mm. A little call out, huh?
I was like, oh, okay. And then one of them made the comment. She was like, oh yeah, I've been mean. I'm gonna come to your little thing, your little show, little thing you have. I've been meaning to, check that out one year. And one of my friends was there, and she was like, first of all, like it's not a little thing,
Right.
I worked very hard to build that to what it was. So it was like all of these things. I was like, I felt like I was being attacked when I didn't go behind your back to talk to pastor about having, like, I came to who they told me, like, I'm trying to follow all the steps and I'm not trying to take over. Like, I really just felt in my heart like God had given me the vision to do that. And so I remember because I remember sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, wow. And then I knew if I ever had any doubt, hope, that I was being attacked. And like I said, we're good now. So if y'all see me, please know I'm laughing at this now. But I knew that I was being attacked when one of them said, don't mind me. My bark is bigger than my bite.
Oh, so she went ahead and told
So you done told me you barking at me.
Oh yeah, they real.
Okay, sis. you just told me you're barking at. Why? Why are you barking at me? I'm the baby here. Right? I'm very new. I'm very fragile. I just, after almost 20 years, I just came back. Like I'm fragile. Like, handle me with care. And I almost let it. I did. I almost let it make me not go back to church at all. But there was no way. I enjoyed it too much to let anybody make me feel uncomfortable in church again, because now I know that, yeah, I came back to church because I wanted to be in the presence of God. I wanted to be able to hear to hear the word of God. I wanted to be amongst the saints. So there was no way at 47 that I'm still going to think the way I did when I was back there. And so, like, I know I've reached out to you before. Probably upset you. I know you was. I was like,
I that day. Girl, don't say nothing to me. Don't tell me nothing.
I already knew. I already knew you was mad. I reached out to you one day, and yeah, I made you mad.
Respectfully, don't tell me nothing when I ain't asked for no opinion. I don't care if you my mama. If I feel strongly about something and I told you this is what it was, don't give me your opinion and tell me, no, well, maybe it was. Maybe it's Maybelline. But today is what I said.
And I probably came a little too early because I had already said, I was like, we're going to meet for lunch or whatever.
Still waiting on my lunch
date. Yeah, but instead of the lunch, I'm going to go and I'm going to put it on Facebook. Like, I literally did exactly what they, like, I've attacked you, and I only have attacked you, but I did it in front of everybody instead of. Yes. But it wasn't meant from a bad place. I hope you know that. I hope you know that.
But see, what I've learned is when people try to say something to me in public, I'm gonna say something right back to you in public the way
I am
can
like that.
authentically
Wherever
say it.
you bring it to me,
I'm gonna bring it
that's
back
where I'm bringing it back.
hard.
I'm the
Because
same
the
way.
next time you say something, you gonna think about it. I ain't finna say nothing hard because I already know she got nasty
Think
attitude.
about it every time.
I need people to think that
Mhm.
because that's my shield. You know, God's still working on me on how to have that holy effect when I'm responding to people. But I don't even know if that's something that I pray for.
Well, let me tell you, I'm not gonna call it a holy effect, but people used to tell me all the time, like you can get a whole lot more with sugar than you can salt, and I never believed that, but I do now, and so I am able to deliver things a whole lot different. But what I've noticed is it cuts deeper than any curse you could ever make. It will tear somebody to pieces if you are able, while they're cursing and acting out and being belligerent, and you can sit there and professionally hold yourself together. You can cut them deeper than you can with any curse word. But it's an art, and it takes time. I just got it like 3 years ago, so you got like 7
Oh
more
no, I
years
got
left.
it. I don't want it. Let's just be clear. I
You
can
don't
do
want
that.
it?
I don't want that in some ways because in those times that's when people play me like I'm weak. So I know me, and I want God to give me discernment on who to say it to. But some people got to get that word. I mean, that's who God made me. And until the day that He wants to change that completely in me, He gonna have to do that.
Because it takes him.
He's gonna have to do that for me because it's too many sanctified people that want to tell me who God is in my life that I gotta get you told. This is the season of you getting told so you can stop talking so much.
Tell me about. I'm trying to remember because when I invited you to lunch, it was after you said somebody had told you that, and that's what we'll talk about next. Somebody had told you that they do believe God had a purpose for your work for you. And I'm hoping I want you to take me from the correct place when we talk about this. But you said that they said that God had a work for you, but they didn't believe it was in the church.
It was kind of similar to what you just said about them with your event that you was trying to bring to the church. So I was getting ready to go pick up my daughter one day from school. I had on my regular clothes, some little sweats, and a little shirt. It may came off the shoulder, something like this one. And I went into church and I was just excited. I was like, "Oh, I got this idea. I want to be a Christian DJ and this and this." And I started doing my ideas, and they called the first lady out. And I was like, "Well, I don't really need to talk to her right now. I'm just trying to ask."
Like I was just trying to say what I need to do.
Who the DJ that I can talk to in the church and all this stuff because I just need to do it. So she came out and I said, "Okay, so this is what I want to do." Got super excited, telling her what was going on, and I said, "I see it. I know that I may not have the look that the church say, but I got a heart for God." And you don't interrupted me like that in the middle of me trying to get it out. She was like, "And you don't, but God loves you." And I was like, "Okay, well, this is what I want to do." And I kind of went with it and I kept saying what I want to do. She was like, "Well, I think that's more for the community. We have a lot of what you call it, not organizations, ministries. We have a lot of ministries that already kind of is like that. And what you kind of talking about, I think it'd be better fit for the community."
Now, let me ask you, because with my experience, that's kind of what I took from that too. But I was okay with it.
I'm okay with it now because in that moment, I didn't want to run back to the streets because I felt like the community in the streets was what had me in the places that I was in back then, and I didn't want to end up falling back. So I was like, let me run the church because if I do it in the church, it's going to strengthen me in God. But the whole time, God was calling me back to the community because that's where I was.
They don't need you. They don't need us in the church.
They don't need me in the church.
Yeah,
that's why I feel so good. That was God's redirection because I kept trying to run once again to the idol that I had made, which was the church and church people. And I want to be accepted so bad by the church people because I don't
talk about acceptance
that's how I felt growing up. I don't look like you. I don't talk like you. I cuss too much. I do this. I'm too provocative. I'm too something.
And it's not that you're too, it's that you're openly too, because that's my problem.
Yeah, because they do it too.
Yeah, I don't hide. I don't choose to hide that I curse, yeah, because then I would be a hypocrite and not choose not to be. I don't hide that I enjoy a wine. I enjoy hard liquor every once in a while. Like I enjoy hard liquor a lot, but I don't hide it.
Right.
And if I gotta hide it to be friends with you, if I gotta hide it to come to church with you, if I gotta hide it for you to talk to you, if I gotta hide it to sup with you, then we ain't supposed to do none of that together, because I'm not gonna hide it.
Right.
Because the only person who I owe any explanation to, for me, is God. And he see me doing
And he
it every
already
time,
know.
all the
He
time. Like, I
already
can't
know.
hide it from him.
And if he loved me through that, why can't you? Why
Mhm.
can't people just go to God and pray for us instead of trying to pray on us?
Yeah,
That's what pisses me off. Don't pray on me.
Pray that whatever you say the Bible says that I'm supposed to do or not supposed to do. Yeah, I don't mind you praying on that. Like you said, just don't pray on me. Don't pray against me. Don't pray on me. Don't hurt me. Cause I, like, honestly, like, I have, with this transition, in Hija de Jimenez, and Hija de Jimenez being like my alter ego, who is this kind person, this nice person who is trying and trying and trying to get things, right, to be kind to people, to be nice to people, to walk a straight path. It has not been easy. And sometimes all I feel like I need to do is sit Hija to the side and let Trish come out and curse somebody out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm able, because of that reminder of, this alter ego that God gave me of Hija de Jimenez, which means daughter of Jimmy and Inez, which is my parents. That pulls me back. Like, that reminds me. But what I don't need is for people on the outside. Like, I don't need anybody. I struggle with myself enough. I struggle trying to figure out what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing. I struggle with knowing what I know I shouldn't be doing that I'm still doing. I am 49, almost 50 years old. I don't need, I promise you, anybody out there at this point in my life to tell me right from wrong. I already know. I need love. I need prayers. I need support. I need for you to believe it when you say that you may not understand, but God will give you the peace that surpasses. You may not understand what I'm going through. You may not believe that God would actually have placed me here to go through this, or that God would not tell me to make these particular decisions that I made. But you only see what we share.
That's right.
Right? That's right. You don't know my past. You don't know what God told me before that I didn't listen to. So maybe I didn't listen before. And now that I'm listening now, you don't understand. Maybe you think I'm pretending. Like, I don't pretend about anything. No, maybe I was confused too. Maybe. But you don't have to understand it. So I need for people to stop trying to understand it. I need for people to stop trying to ridicule me. I need for people to stop saying I was pretending. Stop calling me a liar. Stop saying I put on. Stop doing all of that. And just let God give you the peace that surpasses this understanding that the church people keep telling me about. Like, what the Bible clearly states is that he will give you a peace. So if there's anybody out there that does not have a peace with my life and a peace with how I choose or how I decide to live and change and work in my life, then all I can do for you, sis, bruh, is pray that God gives you peace that surpasses all understanding, because I have it. Hello. Okay? The people in my household right now, we have it. There is more love in my household than you would actually think. I know that you're probably thinking there may be some fighting and some cursing and some. None of that is going on in my household. And no, I know I don't gotta explain. Like, I know I don't gotta do that. But you just don't understand. You don't understand what it is like. Like, you really don't understand what I'm already going through personally.
They understand. They don't care.
You just don't care.
They do not care.
So if you could just pray for me like you say you're doing anyway, right? And be supportive like you say. Give me back just a little bit of the support. just a little bit of the encouragement, just a little bit of the inspiration that I pour out into y'all every single day. Please. I don't even know how I got here. I don't even know how I got here.
Because this is on your heart, and I felt the same way for so long. I said, I've been pouring into people so long and they don't pour into me the same way. And God literally had to sit me down and say, because you're looking for it. And when you already have it, I already give you all the support you need. I've already given you everything you need inside of you to do it. You don't need nobody
to do it.
Yeah.
The people to do it, because God knows I have some supportive friends. I ain't gonna say I got much supportive family. Yeah. It's like he sent you the people.
You already got your people.
That were meant to support you. And I thank God for y'all. Yeah. I swear I thank God for y'all. Y'all don't go unnoticed. Like, I can feel your prayers. I thank God for each and every one of y'all. Everybody that reaches out to me in my inbox at the most unexpected time and the most unexpected people. I appreciate y'all so much. But it's the human nature in me still that kind of sits there like, but dang. Y'all loves me before. And I've always told the truth, Hope. I've begged people from the very beginning, do not idolize me. Do not idolize me. Do not. It makes my skin cringe. Like, I will go into people's and listen. I don't want you to think I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect. Because we all got stuff that we go through. We all human. He puts us all through tests and trials. Some that we don't get. I ain't passed every one of them. I have not passed every test and trial, right? And so even right now, like, we're talking about topics supposed to be church hurt. We done got way off.
This is still church hurt. All of this.
But I have not even been as comfortable as I have been going back to church. Like, I talked about it. On one of my blogs one morning, how I wanted to go to church, and I'm not a person to beat church into anybody. I'm not a person to beat God into anybody. I'm a true believer that if I let my light so shine, that I'll be able to draw people to Him that way. So I'm never going to try to beat anybody into it. And so when it comes to my husband, like, different times when I've wanted him to go to church before he was ready to go to church, hey, you want to go to church today? No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna cut the grass. Hey, you want to go to church? No. And so I would just do what I know my mama said. Everything I do is gonna be what my mama said. No, I ain't gonna, I waited and I prayed, and then one day he just said he was going. And so that's what I did with my husband, right? And so now I done finally drew this man into the church, which is my church. And some days, I felt, because I don't want to live a lie. So now I'm sitting there like, shoot, like, if I go to church, like, where I gotta sit, like, literally, like, I have a very dear friend who I texted one morning before I went to church. I was like, yo, I want to go to church. Like, I feel so disconnected, but I ain't trying to get out here and put on no show. Like, I ain't trying to pretend. Like, I don't even know where to sit no more when I go to church. And she was like, you come to church and you sit wherever you want to sit, and don't worry about what people think or what people say. And so I needed to go that day more than I had ever needed to go before. I literally got there and sat in the parking lot, went on the phone, on my phone, to see if where they was at in service, because we do this thing where they play like walk around, and then, like, you walk around and shake hands and talk to people, greet people. I was like, yeah, I ain't really into that today.
Oh my
I don't want to talk to nobody. So I go online to see if they made it past that yet. They ain't streaming today.
Because God ain't need you to be the watchman today. Girl, get in the church.
They ain't streaming today. I was like, dang. So I go ahead in there, and then, oh God, like, it was life. It was like every confirmation that I needed, I got that day. And then people want to tell you what's confirmation and what's not. You don't get to tell me what like one thing I have learned in this situation, in saying and believing that God has chosen to isolate me
Mm-hmm.
and for me to do things on my own, is that at the end of the day, Hope, if everything goes awry, I ain't got nobody to blame
But yourself.
but myself.
That's it. That's it.
But myself.
That's it. And you can figure it out.
And I can
from
figure
that.
it out
Yeah.
from there.
I wanted to say, touch oh, because you touched I was feeling it when you was talking about even going into church and feeling some type of way and not going. I'll say this, coming from understanding the Bible, even when we feel like we're not making the right decisions, God is still pleased with us for walking. And I think we forget to just walk. We get so caught up in thinking about it so much to where we just don't walk the journey and let things happen. Let the flow of life just happen. Because I don't know of too many people in the Bible that didn't have bad things that they did prior to God using them. And that's what I'm learning about God is He want to show His grace and His mercy. If you already good, if you already perfect, and He ain't make no perfect person but Jesus Christ.
And say it again.
Nobody's perfect. So if you already feel like you perfect or you so good or you don't need this or you don't need that, then what do you need God for? So that puts you on a pedestal like you are God. So for me, when I see people that's operating in that place, then you need God more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are not even operating in the place of knowing how much God loves you because you playing His part. Because if you know what God is, God will love you in a place of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
He'll love you in a place of light. You can be at your worst for what you feel, but in that moment of your worst, it'll be the best in God's eyes because you're doing better than what you was doing yesterday. It's
and
that
He
one
will
little
convict
thing.
you in
Yes.
due time.
Yes.
I've heard these stories. I ain't never experienced it where God comes in. He just took everything from me one time. Like that one day, I stopped cussing, I stopped smoking, I stopped fornicating, I stopped committing adultery, I stopped doing this. Like these people who come and make you believe that they stop all of these things in like a blink of an. I ain't saying it can't happen because I know God can do all things, but I know most of y'all have struggled, until God really came and either convicted you or just took it away from you.
I struggle with some things,
But
it don't keep me away. It don't keep me away from God. Let me say, when I started feeling like the church was making me want to run away from God, I was like, all right, well, I'm finna have church at home every day. So I stopped thinking about going on Sundays and I started making it an everyday worship for me. So I didn't need the church no more. I didn't need church worshipers. I didn't need nobody. I went and got on the floor with God every day. And I was like, you are my worshiper. You are the person that I'm talking to. And then I started like, I would be crying and hollering. If I was in the church, I probably wouldn't even feel comfortable hollering the way I holler, talking to God the way I talk, because I feel like people looking at me or they'll think I'm pretending it is. But when I'm with God by myself, I can do whatever. I can say whatever. I can walk up in there with no clothes on, naked as a jaybird.
Listen,
like I'm in the garden with God, and He ain't looked at me and told me my skirt was too short. He ain't told me my cleavage was showing. He ain't pointed out nothing bad about me. The only thing He said was, "Come here and rest." He ain't seen my boobs. He ain't seen my vagina. I had a lady come in my inbox the other day and tell me a woman of God wouldn't be dressing the way you dress. I said, "Ooh, okay." Says the woman that loved God so much, but tell me about Eve walking in the garden with God, and only when the serpent came is when they felt ashamed about being naked. Other than that, they was naked every day with God. So how is it that Eve and Adam can be naked every day with God, but I can't walk around with my shirt low enough for you to tell me I need to go home and change? Who are you?
They will get them. I have learned to have thick skin when it comes to social media. Social media for sure. I know when my daughter moved into her new house, and I wanted to give her some motherly advice, and I told her one of the things I do. Like when there is nothing like everybody in my house being gone to school or to work or wherever. When I say I'm getting in my worship place, I mean either I got music on or the music is just in my heart. Typically, I ain't got no clothes on at all. Like, because why? Because I want to be exposed. Like, I want God to see all of me. Like, I don't want nothing hindering me. I don't want nothing tight. I don't want nothing making me feel uncomfortable. I will walk through my house butt naked.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
praise God more than I have ever praised Him
Yeah.
in any church house or
Ain't
in
take no
front of
stockings.
anybody. And no, I ain't take none of that.
Ain't take no
None
slip.
of that. None of that. Like I believe that everybody, like when they talk about like christening your home, like I don't feel like that's just something you do one time. I think you can feel when the spirit in your home, the energy in your home gets off.
Mhm.
And if the woman is the matriarch, like they say, if the woman is the true praise warrior, prayer warrior,
Mhm.
like they say, then it needs to be me. And so I don't mind like getting there
Mhm.
and just being like, yeah, like I think it should be done with no clothes on. I think your house should be blessed and prayed over as a woman, totally exposed with no clothes on. Like, don't let nothing, nobody there. Is nobody there but you and him.
Mhm.
He see you in everything all the time anyway. He ain't criticizing you about no rolls, no back fat, nothing. I'm telling you, it listen, if I can't tell y'all anything else about any feeling that you could ever feel again, just know that being in the presence of God is definitely real.
It is very much so real, and we are the church. I just want to say that we, the people, are the
Mhm.
church. God said we'll build His church upon a rock. I challenge every one of us to go sit on that rock.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And the rock could be your very own house. God wants us to start the ministries at home first. It should be a ministry on every house should be a ministry first. Your husband,
Every house, every job.
every place should be a ministry. It shouldn't be so much for just the church building.
Mhm.
So I just challenge everybody to go build a relationship with God.
And that's why I said to you before, like when that first lady said to you, yeah, I don't think like I think your ministries in the community. I am so okay with that
Me too.
because I believe that the community needs ministry more than they do. Y'all got everything you need, and y'all already perfect in the
You know
church, right?
what?
Yeah,
Yes.
y'all already perfect in the church. Y'all don't need me. Y'all don't need me and my imperfections right now in the church. But I know there's a whole community of people. But see, because like what I always say, like how you going to draw me into the church if you can't come out of the church?
Right.
So maybe your ministry is out there so you can draw them into the church. Because I hope no pressure, but I hope you'll get comfortable enough, and maybe not that church. The Bible does say, fail not to assemble yourselves together. So I do feel like I can't tell you, I won't sit here and lie to you and tell you I feel the same when I'm watching online as opposed to being there in the church. But I only grew to feel that way when I went to church because I don't care who else is here
Mm-hmm.
and I don't care who else ain't here and I don't care what nobody I don't care what pastor got to say. I want to hear what God told pastor to say. And as long as pastor is saying what God told him to say, we good. I'll be back.
Yeah.
You know? And so the church, like, no longer I'm not allowing anybody
Mm-hmm.
in any aspect of my life anymore to remove me from some place that I feel like I'm supposed to be in.
Well, I remove myself when I feel like I need to, and then I go back when I feel like I need to.
Mm-hmm.
I never leave God. See, people have the idea of when you leave the church building, you leave God. I never
Absolutely
left
not.
God in no type of way. He's been here with me,
Been
and I've
rocking
gotten
the whole
stronger.
time.
I've gotten wiser. I've gotten better each time. He just needed me to be silent and alone with Him. So I'll just say, girl, it's the best decision that I've ever made.
Took away
to
distractions.
keep on going. I love church worship. But I just know that I had to build a relationship with God myself, so I wouldn't keep getting my heart broke when I went to church.
You got it, and that's in any aspect of your life. Like you have to truly work on. I don't know why this table rocking so much today.
It's a little close. You want me to move it?
You have to truly work on yourself to be able to heal from any type of relationship, whether that's a church relationship, a work relationship, a marital relationship, a child parent relationship. It all starts with working on you. But what I've learned this year in 2024, the year of more,
Mm-hmm.
is you are really never done working on you.
Nope.
There's
Nope.
always more growth. There's always something to change when it comes to working on you.
And I'm ready.
Girl, I'm so ready.
That redirection was the best thing that she could have did, because ever since she told me that, I've been going at it. and I'm having my grand opening for my own business coming up in June. And it's a wellness center for kids, really for families, but more of for children. So I want to help children overcome the things that I've overcome before they go through it. They'll already recognize it, And one of the things is church hurt. I want to be able to talk to kids that are going through trauma and stuff like that, and I can let them know about my testimony. Anybody taught me this, I went through it. You know what I mean? So, Realm of Hope is coming. Ain't no church. But yeah, no.
And I said, when I made the post today, that yes, the church is a building. So when we say church hurt, if anybody says that you are experiencing church hurt, it means that you have been hurt by somebody or some what you call it, like organization or board or something within the church. It may have been the usher board, it may have been the choir, it may have been it may have been something. But church hurt is definitely real. I know Pastor King has said, he told a story one day about a lady, a member of the church, who came to him and came to their pastor and told them that they were thinking about leaving the church, or they were leaving the church. And he like convinced her to trying to think of it, like he somewhere or another, he convinced her to stay for a while, but like kind of take her eyes off what everybody else was doing in the church. And once she was able to take her eyes off of everything that everybody was doing in the church, she was able to see that she could actually put her eyes on God. And all of a sudden, like, I guess, maybe it wasn't so. But I can't say that for everybody, because some of you are still sitting in the midst of churches simply because you were born there. Right. And you don't know where else to go. Like, you feel like this sense of obligation to remain with this church that you don't even feel comfortable with. You're not even getting nothing out of every Sunday. So I do challenge everyone to, talk to God. You say that's what you're doing anyway, right? So really talk to God and let him lead you. But I just like it is just that season for me of no longer staying in places where you don't feel like you're supposed to be in. Whatever it is. So if I can be a beacon of inspiration, a beacon of hope, a beacon of light for anybody, it would be to talk to God, to not let anybody tell you what the voice of God sounds like, to really develop this relationship. Because when you truly trust him, you know him.
Man, you get these little bumps.
Listen, like you know it. You know it. Like it comes out of nowhere. Like one day I was like, God, what you doing? Because I ain't gonna lie, I get angry with God still. Like I'm not that person that don't question God. Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? Like I don't get it. Like I'm trying to do everything right, and I feel like you just attacking me. Like like I talked about my daughter who had like these car accidents, right? Insurance went up. I had to pay off these cars. Like what are you doing? I got these student loans. I got this. Like what are you doing? Like why now? Like I pay my tithes. It seems like when I went back to the church and I started paying my tithes, you started taking more from me. Like why? Like what? Please tell me. What are you doing? And then one day he was like, listen, don't worry. If I gave it to you before, I'll give it to you again. If I take it, he's like, I promise you, I just need you to trust me. If you just trust me, anything that you lose, anything that I take for you, I promise you, I'm going to give it all back to you. And I'm going to give you more. And I'm going to bless you exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could ask or ever imagine. Listen, y'all don't know.
What's the name of your church? Restoration. Bringing it all back.
Listen, I love my pastor. Listen, I'm telling you, if I can't tell you nothing else, God is definitely real. You got to believe him for yourself. I can't make you believe him, but I can show you. You want to see what God looks like? It don't seem ideal to you. I get it. It don't seem ideal. I ain't on here with no long skirt down to my knees. I wear pants and drink a little bit sometimes, and
Baby.
I curse a little bit sometimes. But God is embedded. Look, I got real, like almost. I got real appreciative. I was like, God, like they be
It was
like,
coming.
God,
You was finna. I felt
like
it
I feel,
coming.
yeah.
It's embedded in
Don't
your
make me
soul.
listen. Don't make me start, bro. Listen. Don't make me start preaching. But I'm serious. Like you don't understand. Like if you really, really want somebody who will never leave you,
Oof.
who will never forsake you, who's always gonna be real with you, who's gonna tell you the truth, but every once in a while he might put you through some stuff,
Yeah.
right? Because he never said it was going to be easy. He never said every day was going to be bright, start sunny skies and bright,
Right.
however you say it.
Right.
It's never going to be that all the time. But I promise you that if he puts you through it, it is for a purpose,
Yeah.
right? The purpose, don't make me lie and say the purpose is always great. Sometimes your purpose is going to end up in some pain right now. But I believe in a greater later.
Building your muscles.
Yeah, like just like
all-
working out in the gym.
Yes.
In order, like if we're gonna build some biceps, right, or some booty, or some quads.
Consistency.
Yeah, you gotta go in there when you know how you work out, and the first couple of days after, you
It's
like,
hurt.
oh my
You
God,
don't wanna go
why?
back.
Why? Because you gotta tear. Like when you first,
Yeah.
like you gotta tear that muscle up. In order for you to build that muscle, you gotta shred it. You gotta tear it up. And then when it grows back bigger, and then grow back stronger, and then lifting it like you stretching. Like I'm telling you, he will work you out.
Yes.
It is not always great. It's not always perfect.
Yes.
You got to go through some things.
Yes.
But if you just trust him, right? If you just trust him, I promise, like he'll do it for you. He'll give you. My mama used to always say, like, God promised me. God promised me. And like that's what I live by. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There is no way that as much love as I give, as much encouragement and inspiration as we give, right? Ain't no way God don't got that back for me.
Oh, he got it.
Ain't gonna never like. Nobody ain't gonna make me believe that.
It's gonna be an overflow. When it comes, it's gonna be like
so ready.
So much you ain't gonna be able to receive. You gonna be like, hold up, boom, boom,
I'm gonna
boom,
be
boom,
like,
boom.
whoop.
Yeah. It's coming.
I'm receiving.
It's
I'm
coming.
receiving all of it, and I
I pray that
listen.
for both of us.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep the hope and the faith that that's coming for both.
But
of us.
listen, and
even if it
everybody
don't,
attached. No. No.
We gotta be okay.
No.
We gotta be okay with it.
No.
Even if it didn't, we gotta be okay with it.
No,
we'll
because
get
I don't know
stuck
about
on
you, but God already told me, so you can go there if you want to.
I'm saying I tell myself, if don't nobody else come throwing it at me, I've made it to the point to where I throw it at me every day.
Yeah, because
that's what I mean. Like I don't need it anymore. I've spent so many years wanting it to where I don't even care. But when it comes, I'm a receive.
Definitely out. Listen,
girl, bye. I don't care.
Arms wide open. I'm standing like a wide receiver, baby.
I'm like, God, just allow me to keep loving.
And one thing I ain't gonna do. Whatever he blessed me with next time, I promise you, I will not give it away frivolously, and too freely. I do know that I gave way too much. I gave way too much. And so I'm just going to give what he tells me to give. Because you don't got, like one of the ministers preached that one Sunday, you don't got to give everything.
That's right.
Like you don't got to give all of you. You don't got to give all of your time. You don't got to give all of your heart. You don't got to give all your. There's only one person you got to give all that to. And he only, even when it comes to money, he don't ask for 10%. So it's no way I'm out here just trying to buy people. Right? No, I'm not going to do that no more. And I hope nobody don't take that personally that's out there. But if we go out to lunch or dinner, no longer is Trish taking the entire bill, baby. It's split. And I don't care what social media say.
That's right.
We doing the splits around here.
Yeah.
All right. Because I love to give, right? But I know that I gave for the wrong reasons, right? I definitely gave. You ever feel like you gave for the wrong reasons?
Yeah, I've done it a lot. I give because I want that person to treat me better, love me better, see how if I treat you like this, you should treat me like this. So I'm gonna do more so they can. And it don't work like that. If they want to do it, they're gonna do it. It don't matter what you do. You can give people 100% and they're gonna give you 10.
Hardest life lesson I've ever had to learn. The hardest. But
Yes.
listen, it's never, as long as you're still learning and growing, you're gonna be
Mhm.
good.
Oh, baby. That's why I
You're gonna
changed
be
my
real
name to
good.
Hope Matriarch.
There you out. You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be just fine. What time is it? Oh
Past time,
goodness, it is
8:08.
8:08.
Boom, like a
Listen,
8:08. Look at
I
Guinness.
have enjoyed this tonight, and I hope that you have too. I hope that you have too. If there's anybody out there that is experiencing any type of hurt, period, but specifically any kind of church hurt, I hope that you heard this tonight. I hope that you'll go back and watch it in entirety, because hurt is hurt, right?
Yes.
And you do have to recognize though that when it comes to the church hurting you, it does not mean that God hurt you. Now, will God put you through some things? Sometime He absolutely will. Pastor King says that God has two types of will. He has a permissive will, things that He
Yes.
allows you to go through, and things that He puts you through Himself. I'm a firm believer of that. I'm also a firm believer that He'll make like all of that builds muscle, like it builds strength, which is why I personally don't pray for it, because I know with praying for strength, I'm going to get some trials, right? I'm going to get some
Yep.
trials, because trials are the only thing that are going to make you stronger when you go through stuff. And God knows I've been through some trials.
Yes, Lord.
Woo! But listen, here I am with a smile on my face. Finally, hope.
For,
Smile for him.
forgive that church hurt.
That's right.
That's all I can
Forgive.
say. Don't walk around and hold it in there because it's gonna keep you from doing what you're supposed to do. So let it
Inside
out.
or out of the
Yes.
church.
Inside or
Yeah.
outside, because you're gonna keep that right there and right here. So release it, give it back to God. Forgive those people, smile, and just keep going.
Because He'll work it out, and He'll make people, you ain't gotta even say nothing to them people. I've learned that too. You don't gotta say none to them, and He'll just show them your authenticity and who you are, and things will get
He
better.
said, use
Oh,
your enemies to bless you now, and he'll make them your
he
footstool.
did.
And I don't want to be funny, but I'll just say, sometimes I remember one person, they was all on my case on every post, and this is a great girl, but she kept on telling me things about God, and then she came and said God told her to bless my ministry. Every day she was on my post ridiculing what God told me, and came and she sent me $200 to my ministry and told
Look at
her
that.
God told. So I'm not saying she's an enemy, but God convicted her on how she was treating me. It's like, leave her alone.
And that's what did I tell you when we first sat down on this couch? I said, now Hope, we're gonna do this, but what we ain't gonna do, what we ain't gonna do is touch the anointed. Yeah, because I do believe that that is what God is supposed to do.
Yes.
So I hope nobody thinks that we came out here tonight
we ain't doing
to
that.
tell you that is not what we but that doesn't mean we can't speak on how we feel. So we spoke on how we feel, but we're gonna pray that if there's anybody out there who received this differently or different than what you should have, or if we said anything, we're gonna have to let God just work that out and show you that it wasn't our intentions.
It wasn't my intentions, but I want to say with my whole heart, bless you. But I don't care. Okay.
I ain't gonna say I don't care. I'm still I still totally. But I know what it feels like for my feelings to be hurt. So I try not to hurt other people's feelings, but I am working on. We in that forget everybody and what they think era of my life. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pray us on out. If you haven't already shared, it's still not too late because they can still go back and watch from the beginning. You can catch us on YouTube. And one day I'm gonna sit down and get this on all the listening apps so we can do that. So let's go ahead and pray us on out tonight. You ready? All hearts and minds are clear?
Hey,
All right. Father God, in the name of Jesus, God, I just want to thank you right now for bringing us out here tonight. God, I thank you for bringing us safely. God, tonight I ask that you would touch and heal every heart that is experiencing any type of church hurt and any type of hurt in general. God, we know that you are a healer. God, we know that you can take away that pain. God, we know that you are the one who fixes that pain. God, I pray that anybody that is out there trying to fix things on their own, that you would have them look to you, look to the one from whence all of our help comes, because it all comes from you. God, I thank you for true healing. I thank you for the power. God, I thank you for bringing hope. I thank you for hope having for these 40 years of life and healing and everything that you're going to bless her with. God, as she continues to move forward in her new business, God, I ask you to Bless it exceedingly and abundantly above all that any of us ever would imagine that business can be. God, as DJ Tech sits over there, God, I ask you to continue to bless him. Continue to prosper him. Continue to make everything that he touches turn to gold. God, the baby that's sitting over here, as she gets ready to start her new school, God, I ask that you make it the best school she could have ever went to. God, I pray for good grades. I pray for mercy. I pray for prosperity. I pray for everybody sitting in this building tonight and everybody attached to us and everybody that's watching. God, I know you can do it because you did it for me. God, you promised us, and we stand on your promises today. And we ask that going forward, you will continue to give us what we need, the knowledge that we need to do your work. Thank you for purpose. We thank you. We love you in Jesus' name. God bless every one of you, and good night.